Frydenberg is the Federal Treasurer, and today was a good day, a beautiful set of numbers, frankly, because Australia is now out of recession. We had a chance to talk to him from Canberra earlier tonight.
Tonight we saw a very encouraging set of numbers with 3.3% GDP growth in the September quarter, the biggest single quarterly increase since 1976.
Where would we have been if things didn't go as bad as they did in Victoria?
We would have been at 5%, not 3.3%. We saw strong growth across every state and territory except Victoria, which contracted. That was a devastating second wave in Victoria, as you know. It didn't need to happen, and the cost has been immense, not just in economic terms, but also in social policy terms and on people's wellbeing and mental health. So that was obviously very concerning. It's very pleasing by the same token that the numbers have come down. The virus is now under control in Victoria. The borders are starting to open up, and that's going to help the momentum of the recovery too.
And this has been my issue about the way some of these premiers have handled borders and border politics, is that already because of the limited physical interaction with the rest of the world due to our hard international borders, they're saving lives, but it reduces some demand in the economy. When you limit the movement between states, you further suppress that demand in the economy. Put simply, we've seen in South Australia just a few weeks ago that there are lots of states that are on a hair trigger to automatically sort of lock down again, but New South Wales has shown us that there's a way to stay open but get on top of little grass fires. How vital to us not going anywhere near another 3 months of negative, let alone 6 months of negative, that we keep the doors open internally in Australia to push up demand?
Well, closed borders cost jobs, and that's been our consistent position. And it's not just economic damage that is done, but you've heard some of those horror stories about families and the impacts on them, and people being unable to go to relatives' funerals and able to access important health care and the like. So there are many perverse consequences, Paul, of those closed borders. New South Wales has been best in class. I think that's very fair to say, with their contact testing and their tracing and their ability to deal with increases in cases and to not lock down the broader community and society. That's been very important as the largest state in terms of the national economy. That's been very important in helping the numbers get to where they did today.
What is leading the recovery at this point? Is there a particular sector that's driving hard?
Well, jobs is what is leading the recovery, because strong jobs growth has meant that people are now starting to consume. The fact that the health restrictions have been restricted has helped also boost household consumption. So the combination of the restrictions being eased and people getting back to work has led to this increase in GDP. The Australian economy is remarkably resilient. We've seen that through this crisis. We're in a better position than nearly any other nation in the world. And in terms of where our economy is today compared to where it was this time last year, we're doing better than Japan, than Canada, than New Zealand, than France, than Germany and the United Kingdom. So Australians can be very proud of their achievements to date and where the economy has got to at this point in time. I suppose one of the real takeouts of this crisis has been the importance of those global supply chains, but also Australia being able to manufacture certain goods that you may need in a crisis. I'm thinking particularly about our experience with masks, having to secure them globally during the crisis at a rapid rate, and we were able to do that successfully. But having a domestic capacity to manufacture some of that equipment is important. We were able to turn gin distilleries into hand sanitizer makers. We were able to expand various manufacturing facilities in the medical device space to get them to make ventilators, which were obviously needed through this crisis as well. So we have been very nimble, we have been innovative as a nation, but certainly one of the takeouts is about the robustness and the importance of having access to the right equipment when a crisis arises.
He's a good man. I wish him and his wife and the kids all the best for a break. He deserves one after one hell of a year